Hey, this is the Antisocial Socialite back at it again. Thanks so much for tuning in. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Welcome. If you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button, smash that notification bell. So anytime I get to running this mouth in this BITCH, yes sir, you are in the loop. You see the title? Hopefully there's a title. And this video is called, Alright, Blame the Black Woman. Now, anytime you get into a conversation between men and women, there's always this one smart person, at least one very clever, educated black woman who says, you must really hate black women. Oh, that's right, just blame black women for everything. And it gets to the point where you can't even begin to it's just face palm all the time after a while, because, and again, this is going back to the Gayle King situation, what Snoop Dogg said, Oprah, oh, these are just a handful of black women, they don't speak for all of us. But when you look at the likes under comments, you can know where the consensus is. When you have a post with thousands of views and certain comments are receiving hundreds, I've seen some comments with thousands of likes, that is more than enough in terms of a sample population. That is indicative of what people in the general public think. Because if you didn't like the comment, you wouldn't have clicked the like button. So we need to be honest about the fact that there are a lot of issues in the black community, and many of them are associated with feminism and feminist ideologies that have just completely permeated the West. Black women hold on to these ideals the hardest because they're raised with this I need to be strong and independent mentality. But you end up being strong, independent and single, strong, independent and a baby mama, strong, independent and broke, strong, independent and alone. And it just becomes frustrating when every time brothers try to bring up these logical points, instead of black women responding to the point, they start talking about, you must really hate your mother, you're a little boy, you're defeated, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, address the point, because black people love to use shame on other black people to try to force them and pressure them into doing things that are not right, or thinking things that are not right, or silencing them. But we have to blame the black woman. We have to look at the black women. We have to look at ourselves. I have to look at myself. That's one of the reasons not when I first started YouTube, but when I kind of was going through like a breakup, and then just I look back on myself and I thought, why the hell did I put myself through all these situations? And I literally sat down, I think I Googled, why am I like this? Or something like that. I started reading Psychology Today and psychology papers online, and just trying to come to an understanding of why I have the patterns of behavior that I have. Because until I understand why I do what I do, I'm never going to be able to break free of this cycle. And it's not just in relationships, it's in other things as well. So it's just like, where are black women's heads at? Why is it like people just say what they have seen other people say? And this is one of those statements that black women always like to throw out. You're blaming us. You're bashing us. You hate us. That's what the guy, I can't even remember who it was now, again with the same Gayle King BS, black women are not your enemy. I'm really sorry, whoever you were, matriarchal black man who kisses the ass of black women and, is worshipping at the throne of the black vagina. I'm really sorry to tell you, whoever that was. I can't remember now. I need to go back through one of the other videos. Yes, in many instances, the biggest enemy to the black man is the black woman. Not to say all black women go around with a nefarious plan, but because of the way black women are raised to have contempt for black men, because of the way, and listen, you may say, oh wow, that's deep. Oh wow, you're taking a bit too far. How many times have we heard, you can't trust a black man? Black men are no good. They don't take care of their kids. They always cheat. Oh, the majority of black women are attacked by black men. How many times have we heard, you can't rely on a black man? How many times? Growing up as children, we hear these things, we see these things. And so we are repeatedly conditioned and programmed as young girls to see the black boy as a threat and somebody who's no good. And this is how it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you have a mother, she's got a son and a daughter. She's telling the daughter all the time these negative things about black men. And at the same time, she's calling it empowerment by telling her, you need to make sure you're educated so you don't have to rely on a man. What is she saying? Black men can't be relied upon. You need to make sure you have your own money so that he can't control you. If you need to get away, you have your own money, you can be free and run, you know. So it sows in the seed, a seed in the mind of the daughter that this man is dangerous. He's going to control me. He's going to try to manipulate me. I need to make sure I'm always protected just in case things go left, even though she's likely to divorce him first, you know. How many times have you heard black women say, I don't know, you make sure you have your own things, you know, don't be like me. I mean, I watched Madame Noir once, and she was saying, oh, I wouldn't want a marriage like my grandparents' marriage. I mean, some of you probably are on your third and fourth marriage. You could call a marriage for like a few years a long time. So what are you talking about? With marriage, it's going to be turbulence. There's ups and there's downs. But there's benefits as well as certain drawbacks. But when you're with the right person, there's not really going to be drawbacks because you love each other. You're a team. But black women don't set this kind of example for their children because they often don't pick men based on the criteria that actually matters. Number one, does he want to be with me like that? Because as I've said in numerous videos, a man is either going to want a woman for sex, he's going to want her as a girlfriend, or he's going to see her as a wife. He's going to want to sleep with all three, but it depends on how he sees you, whether he's going to commit to you on a casual basis, right up to asking you to be his wife. So if the mother is assuming that sex equals love, and that if she has this man around long enough, eventually he'll just pop the question, this is setting a bad example for the daughter, because the daughter sees numerous men coming through the house, mommy complaining, this one's no good, this one didn't do this one didn't do that, so I got rid of him and I got another. And she says, oh, I can do that. I can have my kids, and I can just have a revolving door to the house. Every time, you know, every few months I come through, there's a new man in there. That's fine. To her, that's what she's going to perceive as the norm. She may not like it, but that's what she's going to understand as normal. And that's what she's going to live out in her life. And then the son, you know, if he's not invested in, he's going to go to the streets because he's looking for masculine energy. He's looking for companionship like peers. He's looking for guidance from other males. And if he can't find it in the home because there's no father, which in a lot of instances that's what's going on, he's going to look for male partnerships outside of the home. This is how they easily get into gangs, they easily get into drugs, they get into crime. Then they go to prison and their whole future is destroyed. And because the mother is pushing the daughter hard so she never has to rely on a man, but she's not pushing the son hard to be a man, eventually she has a stunted individual in the house. He cannot function. He has the mindset of a female because he's been raised on feminine energy. He's indecisive, emotional, erratic, lazy. And because she feels guilty now, because she didn't push him to be a man and push him to fly the nest. You know, and some people have even put down the hypothesis that when a woman is in the house with her kids and there's no man, the son becomes the head of the house, almost like a pseudo husband. The husband that should have been providing and working with her as a team to build the family, now the son is given that responsibility. So she doesn't want him to leave. She doesn't want him to launch out on his own because she needs him to continually assist her to help with the bills and to keep her company as she's aging. So after she stunts the growth of the son, she then feels guilty, so she coddles him for the rest of his life. So it's like, it's a form of abuse because you're clipping the wings of the son so that he cannot be a productive, independent, free-thinking male. It's like, well, I'm taken care of because I've got my boy. But that boy is going to now go out and be a father to somebody one day. He's going to go out and he's going to get into relationships. And these men, because of their emotional mind state, because of their erratic behavior, they are actually more a danger to women than the patriarchal man. Because the patriarchal man has honor. He understands his strength and he has self-control and discipline. But the emotional, erratic, feminized male does not think like a mature man. He's raised to think like a woman. And women, you know, when we get mad, we say anything, we go off, we, you know, if we get physical, we don't have restraint. That's why you see a lot of these young men roaming the street doing what they're doing with no self-control. I get sick and tired when I go through these comment sections. You must really hate black women. Why are you always bashing black women? What about black men? Why don't you hold black men accountable? Every single person in this damn community is holding black men accountable. I mean, I saw a meme or a cartoon, and it was like the white woman sending out her son and, you know, putting on his coat, and she just says something like make sure you look both ways when you cross the road or something. And he's like, all right, mom. And then there's the black woman sending out her son, and it's like, you know, don't make eye contact with anybody, don't walk too fast, don't move too quickly, you know, make sure your hands are always seen at all times, kind of thing. And it's not funny. I laugh, but it's not funny, because if you have black male relatives, best believe your heart is in your mouth when they go out through the door, because one wrong move, they could be gunned down. If you're in the States, I mean, we have police who have guns here and they have shot people, and there has been debates as to whether these people were armed and deserved to be shot. Whether it's here or the States, the police will cover for each other. Obviously we have police brutality, maybe not to the extent as it is in the States, because on average our police officers don't carry guns. But we had a lot of cases of people dying in custody or not long after being released from custody. And that's why we have talked now more and more about the institutional racism of the police force and police brutality and disproportionate force used against black men and boys. Even the mentally ill, even when it's clear that the black individual, the black male, has mental health issues, they are still unlawfully restrained and eventually die as a result of their injuries. So it's not a small thing to raise a boy who is effeminate, because you're basically sending him out to be gunned down by the police, join a gang, end up in prison, end up in a box. This is why black men have finally got a voice and they're talking out against black women, because the black woman is the first teacher. She is the first educator in the home. She sets the example. She's going to give guidance. As children age, they need more time with the father, because the father is going to push them in a way that a mother will not, because a mother is going to protect through fear. She's afraid that the child will fall, so she's going to tell the child not to do things. The father is more likely to guide. He'll be there with the child and say, do it like this, do it like that. If it goes wrong, I'm here. And that builds up the child's confidence, it builds up the child's skill set. It's just a different way of parenting. They're both valuable because sometimes you just need to run away from a situation. There's just no ways around it. You know, if you see a lion, there's no point trying to negotiate. You know, you do whatever they tell you to do to survive if you see a lion. I don't know if there's any point to run. I don't know if... and lions can climb trees. So I suppose it's shoot it. I don't know. I don't know what you'd do if you saw a lion. Pray. Try to make a phone call. I don't know. But the bottom line is this. In certain situations, run away is the best option. But in other situations, you've got to push through. And a mother's not always going to teach a child that kind of resilience. So, ladies, please, if you are somebody who says this, like you always try to shut down a conversation by accusing somebody of being a hater, being a basher, being a woman, a misogynist, you need to stop it. Because we need to reflect on the community as a whole. We need to look at ourselves and think, this is what I do to contribute to the problem in this community. And just by putting that statement out there, it's a form of poison for everyone who sees it. Because it's like the haze comes over, the eyes get glazed, and now all I can see is your misogyny. I can't hear what you're saying. All I'm thinking about is, you must really hate me because I'm a black woman. You have mommy issues. You're a boy. A real man wouldn't do this. A real man would just suck it up. A real man would pull himself up by his bootstraps. And it's like, the guy has been raised in a dysfunctional environment for 18 freaking years. Through all of his developmental years, dysfunction is normal. And then he leaves the home and goes into education systems and workplaces that are already against him. So how is it, like, at least with the black woman, she may be raised in dysfunction, but things like affirmative action initiatives, equality and diversity, you know, all those kind of inclusive programs and schemes that are in schools and workplaces, they will make allowances for women. We're living in a time where it's all about the worship of women. So anything a woman does, she's going to get a pass. The education system is more suited to the learning style of a female, because women can sit quietly for longer and just study and read. But boys, because they have testosterone, they need to be able to burn it. So they're not hyperactive, they're not abnormal. That's just what it is to be a boy. Boys will be boys. They need time to run around, they need sports, they need somewhere after they've been kind of repressing all of these emotions, you know, they need opportunities to let that steam off. In an education system that's not geared towards helping black boys learn, they are going to fall behind. In an education system where you have young girls allowed to come to school dressed like whores, they are a distraction. Black boys in particular need their own schools, they need their own academies, they need to be separated from the black women so that they can learn to grow and develop in an environment that's tailored to their needs to give them the best options. Black male teachers, black mentors, that's what they need. But failing that, the first thing a black woman does as a mother is get a good husband, and that who will be the father of her children. It's not get a husband to be the father of her existing children. It's prepare yourself, get a good man to be your husband, have a family, end of story. Because if you have that father in the home, he's going to mediate between the mother and the children. He's going to demonstrate to the son how to be a man. He's going to demonstrate to the daughter what kind of men she should look for. When the mother is going in too much on the child, he's going to keep her back. And when the children are getting out of line towards their mother, he's going to instill respect for women in the children towards the mother. That's what a good father is going to do. This is why these young guys who are raised in these single parent households are out of control, because they've never had a man tell them how to operate towards a woman with respect. So when you see these women, just go through the comment section. There's always one. I guarantee it. There's always one in the chat, in the comment section. We are on our own. The black men are this. Black men are no good. We have to, we have to defend ourselves, ladies. Oh, that's all they do is blame black women. Why don't they hold themselves accountable? But show me all of the channels holding black women accountable. Show me all the content creators who make an effort, female content creators, black female content creators, who really go in on black women. Even if they are out there, I'm sure the vast majority of those channels do not have a huge following. I can think of maybe one, and that's maybe because she's controversial. I've heard about her, haven't actually watched her content. But the vast majority of these channels, women don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the truth that you are failing your own children by setting a bad example and by sowing seeds of hate and negativity into the minds of your own daughters. And to highlight the failure is not blaming. We are discussing the problem. We're coming to a conclusion. We're diagnosing the situation, because this is why I did a video. Do black women want a functioning community? You cannot move forward if you don't figure out where you're currently at. And black women don't want to accept that they have problems. We don't want to accept we have problems. We don't want to accept that we are damaged in certain ways. But the ones who allowed us to be damaged or helped to perpetuate that damage is not the black man. It was actually the sisterhood of failure. The females who didn't know how to raise daughters right. That's all I got for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new and you have not yet subscribed, like, share, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.